Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to That's Football. All I can say is wow, Liverpool are in crisis. This Jude Bellingham story is bigger than a transfer falling through. It's such a big statement for Liverpool's future, and I still think overarching all of this crisis, and I think it is a crisis, very interested to see what Liverpool fans and other fans think about this. I still feel that there is this risk that I spoke about a week ago about Jurgen Klopp leaving, because I think football's just so weird at the moment. Nobody can tell me that Jurgen Klopp won't leave in the summer. Do I think he will? Probably not. I actually hope he does stay, because I think that Liverpool need to rebuild, and I've seen Sir Alex do it with Manchester United, and Jurgen Klopp's probably the perfect person to do it with Liverpool, and he's putting all the right noises out. But look, let me just frame this story for you. Jude Bellingham not going to Liverpool isn't necessarily a massive surprise if you don't know the context. Look, I know a lot of people in the industry, not, good information around Chelsea. Liverpool, I know a few people. I don't take a lot of notice because I don't like Liverpool. I'm a Manchester United fan. But obviously, in the context of football, I watch their games. You take a notice in big stories. The Liverpool story with Bellingham started last August. Like, people close to Liverpool, who I would call them acquaintances, they're in the industry, have been saying for the last 8 months, Jude Bellingham's coming to Liverpool. And these people are not these people you get on Twitter who are just made up people who just make stuff up. This is credible people close to Liverpool Football Club within the circles of stuff that goes on. And Liverpool are quite an insular football club as well. If you don't live in the UK, and even if you do, you might not be aware, Liverpool are very much about themselves. They like that. And they're not really a club in transfers that you hear about, oh, Liverpool are doing this, Liverpool are doing that. They're quite a closed shop on that, and they're very quick at their business, as we've seen in the past with the likes of Fabinho and Nunez. They can get a deal done really quickly, so they don't really gloat about it. So it's been weird the last sort of few months listening that Bellingham's coming to Liverpool, there's loads of stuff going on. I've always said I think he's going to Liverpool, not because I know anything, but because of the people who are close to Liverpool saying he is. So now have this story that that's not going to happen is a massive turnaround in Liverpool's plans that they've put in place. I would say it's similar to what United did with Griezmann. We spent basically a whole season knowing that Griezmann was coming to Man United. He walked all the way up to the front door, knocked on the door, we opened the door, and he legged it to stay at Atletico Madrid. Your whole summer plans go into disarray. Now, we are nearly in May, we're certainly in April, and in one way, I agree, this could be really good in relation to Jurgen Klopp staying at Liverpool, because Jude Bellingham's going to cost, 150 million pounds as a package. That money does need to be spent on 3 players for Liverpool. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would say, do I want Bellingham or do I want 3 50 million pound players? I want 3 50 million pound players. So logically, you can see that it makes sense. And let's not forget, Bellingham might have snubbed Liverpool, but I actually don't think that's what's happened. I do think that Liverpool have had to say, look, where we're at is not where we thought we were at. When we started on this journey to get Jude Bellingham, we were a team that we thought we were one of the best teams in Europe. We thought that we would be fighting for a title. We thought that we'd be fighting for the Champions League and adding the icing to the cake with Bellingham this summer. What's actually happened at Liverpool is that it wasn't just a blip. They are a team that's come to the end of an era, and they need to build a new team. Plonking Jude Bellingham into that midfield, I don't think it makes Liverpool competitors against Man City next season. I think that they've got to go through another rebuild. So it's massive for Liverpool to have to walk away from a Bellingham deal, because if he walks into Man City's team, well, he is the icing on the cake, and they do go up another level, and Liverpool look at it and go bye-bye as they walk into the distance. But this is a huge reality bite for Liverpool. And therefore, it is a crisis. I mean, if you can't call Liverpool's season a crisis, I don't know what you can call it. Last season, they played every competitive game possible. The league, on the last day, they still could have won it. They went to every cup final, including the Champions League. They were one of the best teams in Europe. This season, they're not even in the top 7 teams in England. So they're in a crisis. They need a major rebuild. And however you want to dress it up, the fact that Jude Bellingham is no longer a target for Liverpool is an admission from Liverpool that they're not the team they thought they were, that they can't afford to just buy one player because they've got to buy a lot more than that. So it's a reality bite for Liverpool, and you can frame it in many different ways, but ultimately it's a failure that the one target that they've wanted and worked hard on all season, they're having to say, wait a minute, this crisis we're in is not a blip. It's a real sustained drop-off that we can only alter and repair with sustained volume investment. And that means 2, 3, 4, 5 players bringing in instead of one superstar. So I think Bellingham, where he goes, and I spoke about it on the United Stand this morning, so check that out. But where Bellingham goes is probably to a club that just takes him and says, yeah, come into our superstar team. I mean, Man City, Real Madrid, they sort of fit, don't they? But Liverpool just can't offer that now. And it's a reality bite. And on one hand, I think it's, seismic that they've got to acknowledge that publicly and walk away from it. And I think there's a lot of Liverpool fans that are really annoyed by it. And I get that, because you put those shoes on for your club, a player that you've been it's not speculation, basically. This is not speculation. Liverpool to Bellingham, I hear people going, oh, well, we were never getting him. I don't know why people are getting angry. You were. There was plenty of hints. And I don't want to talk about the relationship between Bellingham and Henderson and, the things that he's liked on Instagram, because I think, you never know what that's all about. But there definitely was a willingness from Bellingham to come to Liverpool. There's a good relationship between Dortmund and Liverpool. It looked like the perfect club for him. And it's not going to happen, because it's just the situation at Liverpool has fallen off a cliff, hasn't it? So it's not going to happen. Liverpool need to acknowledge that, and they need to make sure that what they do beyond Bellingham is as best as it can be. Now, whether that's enough for... And look, I don't agree with Liverpool fans ranting and raving about it. I think Liverpool have sent many mixed messages out this season. I thought Liverpool were in the race that Man United were in to get new owners that were going to allow Liverpool, like Manchester United, hopefully, to be able to compete with Manchester City financially. Liverpool have not done that. FSG have dug down and decided to stay. You've got a summer where Liverpool need to spend £300 million. They need to do that. Do you think they're going to do it? I don't think they're going to do it. So ultimately, Liverpool will struggle and rely on the superior brilliance of Klopp to generate another team that can defy the odds, because that's what he's basically done for the last 4 years. Liverpool are not going to hand Klopp the money that he needs to rebuild that team. Will Klopp be here next season? I think he will be. Will he potentially be a long way off again? Reality is that a safe bet probably is. Liverpool need major investment in that midfield. They've just missed out on their number one target because they can't afford to do that. They need more than that. They're not going to be in the Champions League. Jurgen Klopp could go, look, I want to do this job, but you're making this job really hard. It's time to part. Or he could go, and I think he will go, I'll give it another go. I'll try and do it. But Liverpool's plans are in disarray, and they are in a crisis. Should Liverpool fans be ranting and raving about it? I think logically the Bellingham thing doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense. It's all your summer budget on one player when you're not in the Champions League, and that's not going to make a massive amount of difference. Logically, the club are accepting the crisis and saying we need to buy 3 players, not 1. It's sad. You've got to look at why that's happened. Liverpool were that close to being able to buy Bellingham if they'd have got Champions League football and shown that they were still a good team. But ranting and raving about it, I think there's a bigger picture here. We've had this discussion as Man United fans, and we've been through it over the last 6 months. I thought Liverpool were going to go through it. Doesn't look like they are. Liverpool need what Man City have got, what Newcastle have got, and what Man United and Arsenal are trying to get. They need that super wealth, because without it, you're competing as a moral, whatever you want to call it, proper football club. But it doesn't matter when you're competing against... Look at Man City. I mean, look, no one's making videos, no one's watching videos about Man City last night, but they were brilliant. I don't know what Man City do about that. Man City fans will take that as a piss take, but I could have done a video on how good Man City are this morning. I'm doing one about Liverpool's issues because I think it's a more interesting topic that will generate more interest. But look at Man City. They're amazing. How do you compete with Man City? Very easy. What's the model? Money. You need money. We can pretend you don't, but you need money. That's what you need. Man City have got countless pots of money that they've spent for a decade. If you want to compete with that, you need that. That's what Liverpool want. Doesn't look like they're going to go down that route. Get your comments in. Smash a like on the video. And don't forget, watch along tonight, Chelsea against Real Madrid.